the beginning of last year, here at Watermark, we did what we called the Connections Campaign. And it was in order to raise money, raise pledges for a new edition. And it was incredibly successful, and so many people pledged their generosity to support it. See, I also realized that so many of you are new to Watermark over this last year and may not have had the opportunity to take that step of generosity yet. So that's why we're launching a 90-day giving challenge. Because here's what I know. I know that when we take a step of faith to do something that God has asked us to do, it leads to growth. And so it's our hope that through this next 90 days that you experience what can happen in your own life when we make that choice to put God first in an area that I absolutely understand it can be extremely difficult to put Him first. And so there's a few ways that we're asking you to be a part of this challenge. If you have yet to make the decision to give here at Watermark, I'd ask you to take this next 90 days and start giving regularly any amount that God might lay on your heart. Maybe it's something where you look at what you regularly spend your money on, and then for the next 90 days, you make the conscious choice to go without. Maybe you skip the Starbucks. Maybe you skip going out for lunch and make it all at home. So whatever it is, I would challenge you to make this 90 days to take that first step towards generosity. Now, I realize maybe for others, you're giving occasion, but you haven't yet taken that step to give regularly. So for you, maybe this next 90 days, maybe it's an opportunity for you to take a step of faith and set up automatic giving. And what that is doing, it's really you taking the step to say, hey God, you know what? I'm placing you first in this area of my finances. And I'm making the choice to begin to steward my finances and steward my resources in a way that honors you and puts you first. And maybe you're somebody that you do give regularly here at Watermark, but you haven't taken yet the step of faith to tithe. And tithing, it's a biblical principle that God put in place for His people. It's the act of taking the first 10% of our income and then giving it back to Him. And when I say that, when I say giving it back, that's what it really is. We believe that everything that we have, it's from God, and that we are simply stewards of what He's given to us. And so giving back to God, that 10%, it's a reminder as well as a statement to say, God, I rely on you and not my money, and really not on anything else. And so we can begin to trust God with the 10% of the 100% that He's given us. That we believe the 90% that He can do so much more with it. So for many, this is an opportunity to take God at His word and put our faith to the test. And then here's the last part of the challenge. For some, maybe you grew up knowing about tithing and it's just something that you've practiced. But here's what can happen. And I'm certainly guilty of this at times. You know, if you've practiced tithing, it's easy to check that box and just do it because, well, that's what I've always done and that's the right thing to do. See, that doesn't mean that our heart is in it. And so maybe for you, maybe for the next 90 days, it's an opportunity for you to stretch your faith, to take it off autopilot and give beyond just tithing. So we're challenging you to start giving for some, to give regularly for some, or to tithe, or even to go beyond. And we'll be talking about this each and every week. And you can fill out a digital challenge card to pledge your commitment through this 90 days. And here's one more thing. At the end of the 90 days, if you feel like you haven't seen God move in your life as a result of your generosity or in the life of your family, we'll give it back. No questions asked. And so we ask that you'd spend some time praying about this challenge and then join us for the next 90 days to see just how God works in your life and the life of our church.